Hi all, welcome to my channel. I'm bringing you a collaboration make for September 15th. This is the Oh So Inspired collaboration, which is put on by Alicia over at, I think it's called Call Me Crafty Owl on YouTube. And I'll put the link below to her and all the other people in the collab. We had an inspiration image today, or for this, which is looks like it was a Pinterest image from Wild West Paper Arts, and it looks like this. Basically, it's a card with wood grain embossed and a stamped daisy and a thank you, and then some bling in the corners. There's a little more to it than that, but I did not have a daisy. I wanted to do the card because I need practice on cards. I did not have a daisy, but I thought with the holidays coming up, I celebrate Christmas, and I thought a poinsettia would be a nice thing to do. I still left it as a thank you card. Now, what I did was a little different. The paper I used in the background was a piece out of this Neutrals Hot Buy stack that I've had for, I don't know, probably 8 months or something. And the color I used is this one. Nope. Anyway, it was out of here. This one. So, because I was trying to match up to this wood grain paper, and that was out of this preserved paper stack by DCWV. I love this paper pack, and I'm pretty sure I got that one at Joann's a while ago. And it looks like this. I love that it had the knots in it. It has sort of a tan and gray tones to it, and I liked that. And this is the color of the Craftsmith Hot Buy paper pad that I had gotten at Michael's a while back. And then I tried putting it, actually I tried putting the wood grain on a white pre-made A2, and it was a little too white. And then I had craft A2s, and it was too brown, so that's why I picked out this other paper. Now, on the inspiration, I don't know if you'll be able to tell in the picture, but it's embossed with the ridges in the wood grain. So I was thinking, well, how am I going to do that with this, the paper already having the wood grain in? And initially what I did is I took a piece here, the same paper, and I embossed it in this Doris, I don't know what this is called. It's called wood grain background, and this is how it came out. So it actually put more knots in, and actually sort of cut the paper a little bit, running it through my Gemini. And this paper has words on the back. So I thought that I didn't like it. I just didn't like how that came out. It was like wood grain on wood grain. So what I did is I took my scoreboard and I scored on the front first so I could tell where the lines were, and then I flipped it over, and where those lines were I went really heavy, so the wood grain, the lines in the wood, the main lines are elevated. And then what this person had done is actually stamped the image before they embossed it, so that the flower is also in the indented and raised. And she wanted it to look old, like it'd been there, you know, for the life of the wood or whatever. Well, I did the same thing with my poinsettia. You probably cannot tell, but there are, I don't think so. I don't think you can tell, but there are raised parts where the lines of the wood are. So are the lines of the poinsettia. And what I did for that is I turned it upside down and put it on the back of the paper when I did the initial lines, and I embossed it that way as well. And then I just did it a couple times once I had the lines on there so they would show. So it's just a mild elevation of the wood panel lines, but they are there. And then she put cloth or something in the middle of her daisy, but I just used a little bit of glitter glue mixed with glossy accents, and I just used the Studio G, Studio G, and then the glossy accents in the middle, and it's still wet, so I'm being careful not to touch it. Oh, the poinsettia, kind of an important point here. I have this set that was a stamp and die combo by Hero Arts. It looks like that, and I have to clean that better yet, but it had the biggest die in here cut out that, and the others are layered ones. So I stamped that on regular white Recollection 65-pound cardstock, and I did use my alcohol markers. These are the ones I used. I used 2 shades of red. The first I used the bright red, then I went over it with this red, and at first I was like, oh no, that made it brown. But when it dried, it did actually come out to be this DR7 color. I don't know if that's better or worse. And I used DR4 to start with. So I had a layer of DR4, then a layer of DR7, and then I actually went back over it a bit with the DR4. And when I initially stamped it, I tried it in different colors. I ended up using the Stays On Timber Brown as my outline stamp color. And then the leaves I did in DG3, and I only used one color on those. And the center stamen, or whatever you call them, I used CT3, which is sort of a greenish yellow. And then I went around the whole, I went around the wood panels, and then the whole card with this Tim Holtz Distress marker in tea dye. And I liked that one, that color the best. And then lastly, I did the words thank you, and those were, I wasn't going to do that initially either. I was going to use a stamp, but I thought, well, I am not the best stamper, and I didn't want to risk messing up that part of it with the raised bumps in the card, in the paper. So I used the thank and the you out of this Sizzix Thinlits Celebrate words set that has 13 dies. I love these. I have three different sets of them. Now, the only problem I don't like about them is gluing them, and I tried running them through my what's it called, Xyron Create a Sticker Maker, and it did work, except that in between the spaces there was still sticky, and I just didn't want to deal with that. So I ended up, I don't have too many fine tip glues. I have this art glitter glue. I use it sparingly. In fact, I had not even opened it until today. And it has a little bit finer tip, but this is a very liquid glue, and it does come out fast. So I had to carefully do that. And I do have an empty fine tip bottle. I may pour a different glue into that and try that next time. And then lastly, sorry, I got a little glue on here, I think. Lastly, in the inspiration, she had used some gold bling dots, and I was looking for gold, and then I came across these in my stash from Bow Bunny. That light's a little too bright. Bow Bunny double dot jewels. I think I had gotten them on sale on Blitsy or something, or I don't know where. But I used these two sizes. There were 3 there and 1 there, and I needed 4, and luckily there were 4. And I thought they went perfectly with it. So that's my card. The inside, I think I'm just going to cut a piece of white. I haven't done that yet. Cut a piece of white cardstock just to put it in here and leave it blank. So I'll do that as soon as this glue dries, glitter glue on the poinsettia, and then it'll be done. So that is my card, my Oh So Inspired card for the week, for the month, excuse me. And I hope you like it. I'm learning how to make cards and the sizes of cards through this, and you know, it's not as elaborate as my first Oh So Inspired, but honestly, this is just as hard for me because I'm not practiced at stamping yet or coloring, so I guess I did okay, but I don't know. It took me a few tries to stamp the image to where I was happy with it, and then I was so afraid of messing up the coloring, and I think I did okay. Not perfect, but okay. Anyway, and then also just laying the layers on properly and the gluing. You know, there's so many little things that can go wrong, and you want it to look nice because the intent is you're going to send it to somebody or give it to somebody. And so yeah. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to use for an envelope. Probably just one of the white A2 envelopes, because the craft just doesn't quite look right with it. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Hope you enjoy. I hope you have a wonderful week. Please do go check out all the other people in the collab, because we have card makers, we have scrappers, we have artists, you know, all different sorts, and it amazes me the different things that people come up with. All right, guys, have a great day, have a great week. Hugs and love.